Why, hello, everyone, and welcome back to
Emotional damage.
Copyright claim.
I'm Nick Knack. With me is the great Lord Worm.
Where's the whiskey or bourbon?
Seki.
I don't want the whiskey and bourbon.
And just for tonight, Realm Shifter.
Depression.
Just for one night, and one night only.
Maybe. You guys may see me here and there.
This week tonight we watched A Silent Voice.
So I'll start this off. I'll just say, since this was my pick, I give this an absolutely approved. I first watched this in the sub, so the experience of me watching this around the second time, we watched the dub together. It was a bit of a different experience.
I kind of like that, but I'll let you finish your piece.
Yeah, so this one, mainly a lot of the thing was with the Japanese subversion of this is that there's a lot more Japaneseisms that you can catch on to if you know a little bit of the language. So there's a lot more of that in the sub than there is here. There was like one bit that they still kept in that didn't even really work, but for the most part, I'd say that this show, or rather movie, it's not really leaning towards humor. But that's kind of the main differing experience I have here between watching both the sub and the dub. But I think the emotional impacts as well got a bit more just because I could obviously understand what the characters were saying, and it actually provided a bit more context for me in this case as opposed to the Japanese. So, yeah.
It's mostly fine. It don't register.
I guess I'll go next. I really like this. This is an absolute approve for me as well. But I do have to say, I kind of am happy we watched the dub here. Because I feel like, because I don't want to get into the plot too much here because this is our spoiler-free section, but there's an element of the plot that I feel like it really works if you understand the language. Because otherwise, you're just reading the subtitles across the screen the entire time, which kind of ruins a certain element of it. So I feel like this, like having the dub and being able to understand people directly, that does a lot for the film, I think.
For me, this is also approved. And yeah, I would say this definitely does probably work better as a dub because the feels hit you more than they would if you had to read and you couldn't have your feelings catch up to what you're reading.
Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to get at with my initial free thoughts, but I didn't really nail it on the head as you guys are doing right now. So, yeah. Got anything to add, Seki?
I cried.
Approve, disapprove, what?
Cried? Is that a new tier list we're going to leave for this one and only special review? Cried?
I cried so much. I'm still crying a little bit. This is not fair. I'm not emotionally stable enough for this fucking movie.
None of us are, honestly. Eh?
This is like the sort of shit that I watch when I need to go to bed and cry into my pillow for 2 hours.
Well, now you have something to add to that list.
You still gotta go home and take care of a pup.
Yeah.
Pack.
And I can't cuddle with the pup in bed because he's not allowed in the bed.
Aww.
I mean, it's an approved. It's a fucking great movie. I think yeah. I really like the sound design of the whole movie, just in general. I think that they made really good use of intentional silences and SFX to convey a lot of what was happening non-verbally. Which is really the point. I mean, we're going to get into that later, but for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I mean, you are...
What a great opening song, too. It was very, 50s Elvis rock.
That was so out of place. I loved it.
Yeah, it's very the opening to this movie is very out of place for the rest of this movie tonally, but it's a great opener.
I like it. I felt like I needed to go to a sock hop.
Well, no, it's kind of even a whiplash at the beginning of the movie. Like, you get into this very heavy scene at the start and then immediately whip into American 50s rock.
Yeah.
Kind of love
What's
it.
that in, the sub?
Yeah,
yeah,
they
no,
wouldn't
this
change
is
the-
they don't change the soundtrack.
Not
Oh.
usually. Ghibli does it sometimes.
Yeah, but not often, and even then, it's mostly for the older movies.
Yeah.
Not for the newer ones.
Yeah, that just felt so weird. That song, but it was so good.
It
Yeah,
was really good.
it was a really good song. Honestly.
It was good enough that it didn't matter that it felt out of place.
Yeah.
So were you expecting to be emotionally damaged that much, Seki?
No,
Have you never heard of this guy's films before?
I literally have never like. I knew that these movies existed by name, but I've never seen a film by this creator, and I don't watch anime films. Like it's just not something I do in my spare time.
And if you do,
unless
then
it's
they're
Ghibli.
or one of your shonen anime films.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
So,
like the One Piece films.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and I try not to deliberately watch a ton of like really sad shit at home because I know I'm certainly faster than the three of you to cry based on experience, but like sometimes when my mom and I'll be just watching like a random show that's not sad at all and I'll just be fucking sobbing on the goddamn couch. It's emotionally exhausting to be that involved over a movie. So I don't watch a whole lot of, that's why I watch a lot of like comedies and like fluffy movies and stuff, because I just don't have it in me to watch movies that make me emote so much on a regular basis.
Being
So
sad
I also
is
don't-
exhausting.
So
get it.
I also don't seek out those kind of movies ever. So like if I hear that a movie's like that, I just won't watch it most of the time. Because it's not as if I don't want to be crying all the time. Plus, if I want a little cathartic cry, go read a fan fiction. It's faster. Read some Hurt No Comfort. Yeah. Get you that good hurt no comfort.
Mhm. Get you that good hurt.
I fucking love when a piece of media can make me cry. I probably would have cried tonight, but I also don't like crying in front of people. But if I was alone,
Yeah, fuck off. There were literal tears streaming down my face for the last 20 fucking minutes of that movie.
if I were fucking alone though, I would be a mess, and you probably wouldn't see me for the rest of the night.
Yeah. It's a very sad and emotional movie.
My eyes hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel emotionally attacked.
Well, do we have anything else to say that's not spoilerific
No,
other than
the,
that this is sad?
The animation was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the animation
Yeah,
was great for this movie.
You could see the movie animation here.
Yeah. I mean, I know I always expect movies to have higher animation value than TV shows, but this looked really good.
They really amped it. They amped it up here, and like you said earlier, sound design was fantastic as well with the movie. So,
Mhm.
so yeah,
I will say this: I did like what they did with the storytelling for like they showed like a point of view for certain stuff right there. That was pretty nice.
yeah. I mean, you'll probably be able to talk more about that in characters and
The movie's
and
also
and story.
stylized. It's not a real life representation, which is interesting in a lot
Yeah.
of ways.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's also
And I don't mean it's animated. I mean there's deliberate stylization.
mm-hmm. Yeah. There is. It also feels like there's a bit of like almost like the cell shaded art style to this like movie that feels kind of like what the actual production feels like for it. It's like
I don't know what that
so
is.
it's like it's a little different. I don't even know how to describe it as far as animation goes, but it's
Cell
definitely
shading typically means there's a little bit of 3D animation that's done really well to like cover it up. So like you're doing 2D.
like the roller coaster.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like for scenes like that, and like kind of like the Ferris wheel as well. Well, most of those like other scenes, but yeah. Other than that,
So yeah, I think that probably does it for our spoiler feelings. We're really trying not to talk about the story here, I'm noticing. So why don't we just move right into that? Well, I guess try harder, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see us next time for all the sad shit that we're going to have to talk about.
sad boy shit.
Yeah.